I said, "Come on, you must drink some, Mr. President, you must have some Guinness." Remember, they had a table of Irish Guinness. Oh, yeah, it was a great Peter Ull, Oliver Reed and Richard Harris, three British legends with talent as big as their drinking problems. Stay tuned to uncover how alcoholism left its mark on 20 vintage British stars of Hollywood history. Number 20. Colin Clive. Did you know the original Dr. Frankenstein battled his own inner demons? His brilliant performances hit a light of turmoil. Colin Clive became a household name thanks to his iconic role as Dr. Henry Frankenstein in the 1931 classic Frankenstein. While his piercing eyes and haunting delivery captivated audiences, his off-screen life was far from glamorous. Clive struggled with severe alcoholism, a battle that not only impacted his health but also affected his relationships and career. He was known for his brooding intensity on screen, which mirrored his real-life struggles. As the pressure of fame mounted, Clive turned to alcohol to cope, which often made him difficult to work with on set. Despite this, he delivered unforgettable performances, cementing his place in Hollywood history. Sadly, Clive's addiction took a heavy toll on his physical and mental health. By his early 30s, his body was deteriorating and his career began to falter. He passed away at just 37 years old, a victim of his demons. Number 19. Dennis Price. What happens when a suave leading man's charm fades into tragedy? Dennis Price's glittering career fell apart in ways few expected. Dennis Price dazzled audiences with his wit and sophistication, most notably in the dark comedy Kind Hearts and Coronets. In the film, he played a murderous aristocrat with ease and elegance, earning accolades for his nuanced performance. However, behind the polished exterior lay a man grappling with deep personal struggles. Price's battle with alcoholism was an open secret in the industry. As his dependency on alcohol grew, his ability to secure prominent roles diminished. By the 1960s, Price had fallen into financial ruin, and his once bright star dimmed. He lived out his later years in near destitution, relying on small supporting roles to make ends meet. Number 18. Trevor Howard. Did you know that Trevor Howard, the star of Brief Encounter, had a personal life far removed from his on-screen romantic image? His off-screen battles were as compelling as his performances. Trevor Howard, celebrated for his role in the 1945 classic Brief Encounter, epitomized the quintessential English gentleman. However, his off-screen life told a different story. Howard struggled with alcoholism, a battle that began during his service in the Royal Air Force in World War II and continued throughout his acting career. His drinking habits were well known within the industry, and colleagues often found him difficult to work with due to his unpredictable behavior when under the influence. Despite these challenges, Howard maintained a prolific career, delivering powerful performances in films like The Third Man in 1949 and Mutiny on the Bounty in 1962. In the 1970s, Howard's health began to decline, exacerbated by his heavy drinking. He developed cirrhosis of the liver, a condition that significantly impacted his later work. Number 17. Peter Cook. Did you know that Peter Cook, a trailblazer in British satire, battled alcoholism that ultimately overshadowed his comedic genius? Born in 1937, Cook was a central figure in the satire boom of the 1960s, co-founding the comedy revue Beyond the Fringe and The Establishment. Despite his professional success, Cook struggled with alcoholism throughout his life. His heavy drinking affected his personal relationships and professional collaborations, including his partnership with Dudley Moore in the 1970s. His addiction led to erratic behavior and impacted his career trajectory. Cook's health deteriorated due to his alcohol consumption, and he passed away in 1995 at the age of 57 from a gastrointestinal hemorrhage, a complication resulting from years of heavy drinking. Number 16. Tom Baker. Did you know that the iconic Fourth Doctor's eccentricity wasn't just an act? Tom Baker's off-screen life was equally colorful. Tom Baker, renowned for his portrayal of the Fourth Doctor in the long-running series Doctor Who, became a cultural icon in the 1970s. His distinctive voice, curly hair, and trademark scarf endeared him to fans worldwide. However, Baker's time in the TARDIS was marred by personal struggles with alcohol. Baker's heavy drinking began during his early acting days and escalated during his tenure as the Doctor. His alcoholism led to unpredictable behavior on set, causing tensions with cast and crew. Despite these issues, Baker delivered memorable performances that solidified his status in the Doctor Who legacy. In the 1980s, Baker recognized the detrimental impact of his drinking on his health and career. He made a concerted effort to reduce his alcohol consumption, leading to a resurgence in his personal life. Baker continued to work in television, film, and voice acting, showcasing his versatility as an actor. Number 15. David Hemmings. What happens when a 60s icon faces the harsh realities of addiction? David Hemmings's life was a roller coaster of highs and lows. David Hemmings shot to fame with his role in the 1966 film Blow Up, becoming a symbol of the swinging 60s. His boyish charm and intense performances made him a sought-after actor in both British and American cinema. However, Hemmings's success was accompanied by a growing dependence on alcohol. Hemmings's drinking habits began to affect his career in the 1970s. His reputation for unreliability led to fewer acting roles, prompting him to transition into directing and producing. Despite his efforts behind the camera, Hemmings continued to struggle with alcoholism, impacting his personal relationships and professional opportunities. In the 1980s, Hemmings sought help for his addiction and achieved sobriety. This turnaround allowed him to revive his acting career with notable roles in films like Gladiator in 2000 Gangs of New York in 2002. Hemmings's later years were marked by a renewed dedication to his craft until his sudden death in 2003. Number 14. Denholm Elliott. Did you know that Denholm Elliott, the esteemed British character actor, led a life marked by personal struggles? His off-screen battles were as complex as the roles he portrayed. Born in 1922, Denholm Elliott became one of Britain's most versatile actors, appearing in over 120 films and numerous television series. He gained widespread recognition for his roles in Raiders of the Lost Ark in 1981 and A Room with a View in 1985, the latter earning him an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor. Despite his professional success, Elliott's personal life was fraught with challenges. He struggled with alcoholism, a battle that affected both his career and health. His addiction led to erratic behavior and strained relationships within the industry. In his later years, Elliott contracted HIV, which progressed to AIDS, leading to his death in 1992 at the age of 70. Number 13. Michael Redgrave. Did you know that Sir Michael Redgrave, a pillar of British theatre, led a complex double life? His personal struggles were as compelling as his stage performances. Sir Michael Redgrave, born in 1908, was a distinguished English actor renowned for his work in theatre and film. He gained acclaim for roles in productions like The Lady Vanishes in 1938 and the Browning version in 1951. However, behind his professional success, Redgrave grappled with personal challenges, including his sexuality and battles with alcoholism. Redgrave's bisexuality was a closely guarded secret during his lifetime, a period when such matters were taboo. This aspect of his identity added layers of complexity to his personal relationships and contributed to his struggles with alcohol. His drinking began to affect his health and work, leading to tensions in his personal and professional life. Despite these challenges, Redgrave continued to deliver compelling performances, earning a nomination for the Academy Award for Best Actor for his role in Morning Becomes Electra in 1947. His portrayal of an alcoholic father in Time Without Pity in 1957 was particularly poignant, reflecting his own experiences with addiction. In his later years, Redgrave's health declined due to Parkinson's disease, and he passed away in 1985. Number 12. Robert Shaw. Did you know that Robert Shaw, the formidable actor from Jaws, faced his own battles off-screen? His intense performances mirrored a tumultuous personal life. Robert Shaw, born in 1927, was an English actor and novelist celebrated for his roles in films like From Russia with Love in 1963, A Man for All Seasons in 1966, and most notably as Quint in Jaws, 1975. His commanding presence and deep voice made him a memorable figure in cinema. However, Shaw's life was marred by a long-standing struggle with alcoholism. Shaw's drinking habits were well known in the industry and often led to erratic behavior on set. Despite this, he maintained a prolific career, delivering powerful performances that left a lasting impact on audiences. His portrayal of the grizzled shark hunter Quint remains one of the most iconic characters in film history. Tragically, Shaw's heavy drinking took a toll on his health. In 1978, at the age of 51, he suffered a fatal heart attack while driving near his home in Ireland. His untimely death cut short a remarkable career, leaving fans and colleagues to mourn the loss of a talented and complex individual. Number 11. Richard Harris. Did you know that Richard Harris, the original Dumbledore, was as notorious for his off-screen antics as he was for his on-screen presence? His life was a whirlwind of talent and turmoil. Richard Harris, born in 1930, was an Irish actor and singer renowned for his powerful performances in films like This Sporting Life in 1963 and Camelot in 1967. Later generations remember him as Professor Albus Dumbledore in the first two Harry Potter films. However, Harris's career was often overshadowed by his reputation as a hard-drinking hellraiser. Harris's indulgence in alcohol was legendary, leading to numerous publicized incidents and strained relationships within the industry. Despite his excessive lifestyle, he maintained a successful career, earning critical acclaim and several awards, including a Golden Globe for his role in Camelot. In the 1980s, Harris recognized the toll his drinking was taking on his health and career. He made a conscious decision to reduce his alcohol consumption, leading to a resurgence in his professional life. His portrayal of Emperor Marcus Aurelius in Gladiator, 2000, and Dumbledore in the Harry Potter series introduced him to a new generation of fans. Richard Harris passed away in 2002 at the age of 72. Peter O'Rourke to run a little water through it. Number 10. Peter Owl. Did you know that Peter Owl, the star of Lawrence of Arabia, was as famous for his off-screen escapades as his on-screen brilliance? His life was a saga of excess and excellence. Peter Owl, born in 1932, was an Irish-English actor whose portrayal of T.E. Lawrence in Lawrence of Arabia, 1962, catapulted him to international stardom. His striking blue eyes and charismatic performances made him a beloved figure in cinema. However, Owl's career was also marked by his prodigious drinking habits. Owl's love for alcohol was well documented, leading to numerous legendary tales of his exploits. His drinking often resulted in health issues, including a near-fatal illness in the 1970s that required surgery. Despite these challenges, Owl continued to deliver outstanding performances, earning 8 Academy Award nominations throughout his career. In the late 1970s, Owl made the decision to quit drinking, acknowledging the impact it had on his health and his work. This decision led to a resurgence in his career with notable roles in films like The Stunt Man, 1980, and My Favorite Year, 1982. His dedication to his craft remained unwavering until his retirement in 2012. Peter Owl passed away in 2013 at the age of 81. Younger than you, she. Number 9. Oliver Reed. Did you know that Oliver Reed had once claimed to have consumed 106 pints of beer in a 2-day drinking binge? His legendary drinking habits often overshadowed his acting career. Oliver Reed, born in 1938, was a British actor renowned for his intense performances in films like Oliver, 1968, and The Three Musketeers, 1973. However, his off-screen persona often overshadowed his acting prowess. Reed was infamous for his excessive drinking and wild behavior, which became central to his public image. His drinking exploits were the stuff of legend. Reed once claimed to have consumed 106 pints of beer in a 2-day drinking binge before marrying Josephine Burge. He was known to engage in marathon drinking sessions, including a notorious incident where he drank 8 pints of lager, a dozen shots of rum, half a bottle of whiskey, and a few shots of cognac before collapsing. Reed's alcoholism not only affected his health but also his career. His unpredictable behavior led to numerous altercations and legal issues. During the filming of Gladiator in 2000, Reed promised director Ridley Scott that he would abstain from drinking during production. However, he broke his promise, and after a drinking session in a Maltese pub, he suffered a fatal heart attack at the age of 61. Number 8. Anthony Hopkins. Did you know that Sir Anthony Hopkins, the man behind Hannibal Lecter, once battled severe alcoholism? His journey to sobriety is truly inspiring. Born in 1937, Welsh actor Sir Anthony Hopkins is celebrated for his roles in films like The Silence of the Lambs, 1991, and The Remains of the Day, 1993. However, before achieving international acclaim, Hopkins struggled with alcoholism, which threatened to derail his burgeoning career. Hopkins described himself during his drinking days as disgusted, busted, and not to be trusted. His addiction led to erratic behavior and strange professional relationships. In 1975, after a particularly troubling episode, Hopkins realized he needed help. He sought support and embraced sobriety, a decision that transformed his life and career. Since then, Hopkins has been open about his journey to sobriety, often sharing messages of hope and encouragement. Celebrating 47 years of sobriety, he urged those struggling with addiction to seek help, stating, "Wherever you are, get help, don't be ashamed." Hopkins credits his faith and newfound sense of purpose for his recovery. His commitment to sobriety allowed him to deliver some of his most iconic performances, earning him multiple awards, including 2 Academy Awards for Best Actor. If I'm not going too far from number 6, John Barrymore. Here's a fascinating fact. John Barrymore, often called the Great Profile, used cue cards in his later years because alcohol destroyed his memory. John Barrymore was a titan of the stage and screen, hailed as one of the greatest actors of his time, known for his roles in Hamlet and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde in 1920. His charisma and good looks made him a Hollywood icon, but Barrymore's addiction to alcohol was no secret. His drinking began in his youth and worsened as fame grew. His reliance on alcohol was so severe that it affected his health and career. As his memory faded, he resorted to using cue cards during performances, a stark contrast to the photographic memory he once possessed. Despite these struggles, Barrymore's talent never waned. His contributions to acting shaped the industry, and his naturalistic style influenced countless performers. However, his personal life was chaotic, marked by tumultuous relationships and financial instability caused by his addiction. Barrymore passed away at 60, leaving behind a complex legacy. His life reminds us of the human cost of stardom and the fragility behind the glamour. Yet, his impact on cinema remains timeless, inspiring actors even today. Number 5. Robert Newton. Did you know that Robert Newton's portrayal of Long John Silver set the standard for pirate speak? His life mirrored the tumultuous seas he navigated on screen. Born in 1905, Robert Newton was a British actor renowned for his roles in Oliver Twist, 1948, and Treasure Island, 1950. His exaggerated West Country accent in the latter popularized the stereotypical pirate voice, complete with phrases like AR. However, Newton's career was overshadowed by his chronic alcoholism. Newton's drinking habits were notorious in the industry. His excessive alcohol consumption led to erratic behavior, affecting both his personal and professional life. Despite his talent, his addiction resulted in missed opportunities and strained relationships within the film community. Tragically, Newton's alcoholism took a severe toll on his health. He died in 1956 at the age of 50 from a heart attack, a consequence of his prolonged alcohol abuse. His untimely death cut short a promising career, leaving a legacy tainted by his personal struggles. Number 4. Nigel Green. Did you know that Nigel Green's commanding presence on screen masked a life filled with personal battles? His untimely death remains shrouded in mystery. Born in 1924, Nigel Green was an English character actor celebrated for his roles in films like Zulu, 1964, and The Ipcress File, 1965. Standing at 6 feet 4 inches, his imposing stature often saw him cast as military figures or men of authority. However, behind his strong on-screen persona, Green faced significant personal challenges. Green's career was marked by a series of successful roles, but his personal life was less stable. He struggled with depression, a condition that was not widely understood or openly discussed during his time. This battle with mental health issues had a profound impact on his life and career. In 1972, at the age of 47, Green was found dead in his Brighton home. The cause of death was reported as an accidental overdose of sleeping pills, though some speculate it may have been intentional. His sudden passing left many questions unanswered and robbed the film industry of a talented actor. Thank you, Miss M. Penny. Bernard Lee, that's all. Number 3. Bernard Lee. Did you know that Bernard Lee, the original M in the James Bond series, faced profound personal tragedies that led him into a downward spiral? Born in 1908, Lee portrayed M in the first 11 James Bond films, becoming an iconic figure in the franchise. However, his life took a tragic turn in 1972 when his wife, Gladys Merrido, died in a house fire, a calamity that left Lee devastated. Adding to his woes, he was mugged shortly after, leading to depression and heavy drinking. His alcoholism became so severe that during the filming of the Edgar Wallace television series, he was reportedly locked in his dressing room to prevent him from drinking. Yet, he found ways to circumvent these measures. Despite these struggles, Lee continued to work until his death in 1981. Number 2. Michael Elfie. Ever wonder how a beloved TV star's life could spiral into tragedy? Michael Alex's on-screen battles were as dramatic as his roles. Here's an amazing fact. Michael Alex admitted to drinking 2 liters of spirits daily at the height of his alcoholism. This severe condition contributed to his untimely death at 55. Michael Alex, best known for his role as the titular character in the British television series Boone, was a familiar face on screen. However, behind the scenes, Alex grappled with severe alcoholism, a struggle that began in his youth and persisted throughout his career. Alex's drinking problem was an open secret in the industry. His addiction led to erratic behavior and health issues, which eventually affected his professional life. Despite his talent, Alex found it increasingly difficult to secure substantial roles as his addiction took its toll. In the late 1990s, Alex's health deteriorated rapidly due to his excessive drinking. He suffered from multiple health complications, including liver disease. Tragically, Alex passed away in 2002 at the age of 55. The more attractive of you, please step forward. Number 1. Dudley Moore. Did you know that Dudley Moore, the comedic genius behind Arthur, faced personal battles that contrasted sharply with his on-screen persona? His life was a blend of humor and hardship. Born in 1935, Dudley Moore was a British actor, comedian, and musician who rose to fame as part of the comedic duo with Peter Cook. He achieved international acclaim for his role in Arthur, 1981, where he portrayed a lovable, perpetually inebriated millionaire. His performance earned him a Golden Globe Award and an Academy Award nomination. Moore's portrayal of Arthur Bach was so convincing that it led to public misconception about his own relationship with alcohol. In reality, Moore was not an alcoholic, but his comedic partner, Peter Cook, struggled with alcoholism, which strained their professional relationship and ultimately led to their breakup. In the late 1990s, Moore's health began to decline. He was diagnosed with progressive supranuclear palsy, PSP, a rare and terminal brain disorder. The early symptoms of PSP were similar to those of intoxication, leading to public misunderstandings about his condition. Moore faced his illness with remarkable courage, continuing to work and make public appearances despite his deteriorating health. Dudley Moore passed away in 2002 at the age of 66. Thanks for watching. If you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more intriguing content. Don't forget to check out our other videos exploring the untold stories of Hollywood's golden era. See you next time.